y'all? Welcome back to Intellectual Dopeness.
Awakening Minds from Hypnosis.
Yes, y'all. Today we are going to be talking about desensitization. When I tell you that in every single way that you can think of, we are being desensitized. And, if you think about 10 years ago, where we were and how, some things are just second nature, seeing people with plastic surgery. I remember when that first came out, when people start, nip and tuck and all of that, and, putting this there and, just getting new ass, new tits, stuff like that. That's just a lot. So now we don't even think nothing of it. Everybody, oh yeah, girl, I better go buy me a new butt. Ooh, I'm gonna give me some lipo. You know what I'm saying? And it's just oh yeah, girl, okay. And it's that has been normalized. I remember when it was something that was looked and frowned upon and oh my gosh, and it was crazy. So that is a form of desensitization, and that is what we're going to be talking about today, is how we see things from when maybe we were a lot younger and how it may have been back then to how it's become so normal now and today. You know what I mean? So there's so many different forms. I know you have some in mind because I've seen a million of them.
Well, I think, mainly it's happening in the music a lot. When music first came out and, we had different songs and different stories have always been told throughout history, but it's as time has gone on, it's become more okay to say and, speak about different things in the music that you wouldn't hear beforehand, to where back in the day it was probably you hear somebody cussing on a song and you're like, oh my gosh, did he just say that? And nowadays we talking about murdering people, raping people, killing everybody, shooting the hood up, and we just bobbing along to it like it's okay. So I definitely think music is definitely a form of desensitization, and also there's a lot of different forms of it. As far as bullying in school, we're seeing it's they are normalizing a lot of different behaviors and things that should not be acceptable.
Right, and that's true. That's one way that they use to get us desensitized from different things is they put it in the movies, they put it in the hands of celebrities, whether they're musicians or they're movie stars or, some kind of something, you know what I'm saying, where they're in the eyes of the masses and everybody's looking up to them, and, they use those people to put those things out there, you know what I'm saying. They use a lot of the celebrities to get people to get comfortable with, because think about it. I remember when it was really difficult to you would never see anything on TV with gay people, you know what I'm saying, on there, just blatant, super duper,
just out there,
you know what I'm saying,
flamboyant, doing the most.
You would never see that. So
a man walking around in heels, holding a purse, that's cute.
Yeah, right. Exactly. A lot of times people didn't just walk around like that, and so over time, you think about it and you see the difference in the world today, where it's a lot more frequently seen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, whatever floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against that at all.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm just putting something out there that we have to realize that over time, if there is a certain, trend really that they're trying to push upon the masses of people, they're going to, it's going to be just on every TV station, they're going to find a way to make it cool and make it trendy, and then everybody's going to be following along with it. Next thing you know, 10 years later, everybody's doing whatever you may have thought would never, you know what I'm saying?
And it's even with the, the cartoons, they're slipping a lot of different messages in that shouldn't even be put in a cartoon in a jokingly manner. So it's we don't even want our kids to even be smart enough to catch on to this. And it's like the same channels that are acceptable to watch, you know, you turn to like 10 o'clock at night and your kid can't watch that anymore. But more than likely they're up and they're seeing this stuff. So it's like with the things that are being put in the music, what we're watching on TV, and the things that they're making acceptable, we have to start to really question now, why is it something that is becoming acceptable? Like, you know, especially with the whole clone situation, you know, we've seen how they're trying to normalize that. Before you wouldn't hear anything about it, and now it's like everybody's a clone. Everybody's talking about it and making it seem like more acceptable, and there are even like commercials about like clone or robots being a part of your family and helping your house out. Like, I don't want no robot looking motherfucker coming up in my house helping me out. Exactly. You know, what if they gotta flip the switch and then everybody dies? Like, you have to really question, like, why is this okay?
Exactly. And that's so true. Like, that's one thing that, you know, that wasn't even something that you would take into consideration that would, you know, ever happen at this point. Mm-hmm. So it's like, at the end of the day, when you do watch these celebrities and you see like different claims that are out there about, you know, celebrities having clones and stuff like that, I mean, to me it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like it seems like, you know, they're here and they're there and they're everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So
they had a whole show on MTV a long time ago about, you know, celebrity lookalikes and celebrity doubles and things of that nature. Yeah. So that's already something that has been taking place. And it was just said that Jeremiah had like a body double at one of his concerts. Yeah. And, you know, it's like we have to question, like, okay, you know, they were talking about clones and body doubles. You're hearing this all the time now, and they're just putting it out there. Like, whatever they put in your face is like what they want you to know and want you to research, because they want you to be okay with that. So they slowly but surely put the information out there. What was that clip that we seen on TV? Was it Heidi Klum? I'm sorry, on the internet, about Heidi Klum, how for Halloween she had like 5 clones or body doubles or something like that.
It's very popular, like in that you know, upper echelon elite status. You know, that I'm sure that's like nothing to them. They deal with clones on a day-to-day basis and stuff like that. So it's like, and the thing about it is, we deny that these types of things could be reality, but like they've been cloning people for a long time, and so it's like they to the point where it's really, you know what I'm saying?
We deny that could be reality, but we were willing to accept the fact that KFC chicken is cloned.
Right, exactly. And see, that's desensitization in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, if you think about it, for the longest, we just ate this stuff, not even thought nothing of it, and then next thing you know, you start hearing about how this food that we're eating is not real and things like that. And so it's like they don't really fully come out with whether it's true or whether it's in, they let it be controversy, and then next thing you know, you just don't care anymore. You've been eating it your whole life. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna keep eating it. You don't really care if it's fake or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, we have to be like, we just can't continue to be in denial that these types of things are happening around us, and that they're not programming us slowly but surely. It's like over time, they put us in positions and situations that we've been programmed to deal with way beforehand. Like they was prepping us for Donald Trump back in the day with The Simpsons, with all the different cartoons and shows that you see. You know, they're conditioning your mind to prepare and for you to accept certain things that are going to happen in the future. So it's like that lets you know that there's like an agenda behind everything that's being done, because if they have a set out idea before it even transpires, and the next thing you know, it comes into fruition, and that lets you know these things are not just happening for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point, is just like open your eyes, just see things for what they really are. It's not being in denial, because desensitization is real. and being manipulated and mind fucked. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they playing on our psyches. You know, they use subliminal messages and they use. I mean, television is a real program. That's why they call it a television program. So, like, everything that we do when we're dealing with propaganda, we're dealing with music, dealing with entertainment, is all propaganda. It's all to condition us and make us move how they want us to move, like robots. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to be honest with ourselves. Like, man, at the end of the day, wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are being conditioned. You know, if we're not allowing ourselves to consciously see these things, then subconsciously it's playing on our mind that much more. Right. When you're aware of what's going on around you, it allows you to react to certain things in a different way where you can protect yourself. Cause me, like, you won't catch me watching no horror movies. You won't catch me, you know, putting certain types of certain types of images in my mind, or so. Yeah, like, I control that.
Subconscious downloads all of that on a whole completely different level than your conscious mind notices it. So it's like you think you're just watching this movie, and okay, yeah, you are, but you're downloading information that is not helping benefit you as a person in any type of way. It's actually harming you.
Exactly. It really dealing with your frequencies, your energy, you know what I'm saying, and what you could be drawn to you just from having those types of things floating around in your subconscious. You have to be, you take care of your mind and with the things that you take in. And when it comes to, like, propaganda, it's really important to know what you're allowing your mind to take in on a day-to-day basis. Because if we just sitting around watching this stuff and just like, oh, it's just entertainment, and you're not really paying it no mind, it's affecting you, and it's giving you certain impressions on certain things. It's swaying you to have a certain perspective about this and that. Just like news, for a perfect example. You have these newscasters that sit around, they talk back and forth and debate. But, you know, at the end of the day, you have these 2 points that these people are making, going back and forth, and it leaves you to decide on whose side you want to be on. And this doesn't allow you to create your own, idea of what the situation may be. You're just listening to people bicker on the news,
right,
all day, and then next thing you know, you got the same bickering conversation you having with your coworkers at work. You know what I'm saying? And it's conditioning, especially when, like, music. They play the same music over and over and over again on the radio because it's conditioning you. It's making you pick up on certain habits and certain frequencies.
And that's why we really have to ask ourselves, like, okay, all of these different trends that we're seeing, all of these different things that are all of a sudden acceptable, like, is this okay? Like, do what you want, live how you want, but you have to understand, regardless, everything that we're doing is affecting our energy and the energy around us. And so if we're out here dealing with these types of things or music that, we think it's all good because, everybody's doing it or it's on the radios or whatever like that, we're slowly but surely destructing ourselves and not even really realizing it. And another thing about, desensitization is that, like we said earlier, do what you want to do, be who you want to be who you want to be with. But it's like we have to question why they start to make all these different things okay. Before, gay marriage and all of that was frowned upon and not acceptable at all. And now we have gay marriage, which is a great thing. Marry who you want. But it's like that's a form of population control if you think about it. Is, first of all, allowing different people, well, I guess the same sex people to get married. And then on top of that, normalizing it to the public and the public eye. So it's like, it's not a big deal and nobody really trips on it at the way that they used to. But at the same time, that is affecting the population of the United States, of the world, of wherever you're living at.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of things, like a lot of research that I've done have stemmed, and, it roots from, from childhood. Like, a lot of times it's conditioning you from, you know, cartoons, like these Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, all these different cartoons are even playing on the mind. And then on top of the food, like having food messing with your hormones and things like that, a lot of times things are generated within a child so young that they feel as if they were born into something, or they've been feeling like this at such a young age. But it's because they play on our psyches from the day we come out the damn twat. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to feel like, oh, I was born this way, because as long as you can remember, you may have felt a certain type of way, because your psyche, we have a brain when we're infants. You know what I'm saying? So we're processing all these different things subconsciously, that over time, if that's what things that we're taking in, and everybody is already aware of all the subliminal messages they put in the Disney Channel cartoons and things like that. So we don't take these things into consideration. Like, we have to start really taking the scientific method into consideration or something. Like, there's a certain way to do research, so that way you come up with the best educated answer. You know what I'm saying? Based on all the research that you've done, and kind of put things into play. You can't just take these statistics for face value and just say like, oh, well, you know, statistics say this, but you don't know who's behind setting those
how
statistics.
Many people, what age, what range. Like, if you don't have the full statistics behind the statistics, it really doesn't even matter.
Exactly. And basically, at the end of the day, when it comes to that, you just have to ask yourself, like, who is it benefiting? There is someone benefiting from the fact that there is population control. You know what I'm saying? So it isn't you, or it isn't us. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So that's the type of thing we have to decide to take control over, and just understand that there has to be a bigger picture to the reason why these things are happening. You know what I'm saying? And so even if you're someone who is gay, it's not like it's a problem that you're gay, but the problem is that if there's a certain entity that's just making that trendy, people by choice should be able to do what they want, but you don't necessarily have a choice if somebody's playing on your psyche and causing you to be that way from an early age, before you're even consciously aware to be able to make a conscious decision on whether you actually want to do that or not. That's the whole point, is what people got to understand, is that when you have these certain things playing on your psyche and on your mind, you have to take those into consideration. Like, okay, well, maybe, you know, I was, or maybe I did process something when I was younger, you know, or accept situations that you went through that got you to that point. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, there could be people who came into this world at a very young age and was conditioned, you know what I'm saying, at a very young age. That's just how we all come into this world. That's why nobody's perfect. Everybody come in, they learn, and it comes from their own environment, and, you know, taking in whatever programming, you know what I'm saying, they were set to be programmed in based on your parents, and, you know, what TV station they set you in front of when they need to take their ass to work, or when they ain't got no babysitter.
That's what you pick up on.
You know,
that's
stuff
what
like
you
that.
soak in. That's what's around you. That's what shapes your mind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much, you know, the bottom line when it comes to our episode.
We have to watch what we are allowing to be acceptable when it comes to the things that are all of a sudden being normalized. We need to really pay attention to it, because our kids are picking up on this, and our kids are our future. We've said it once and we'll say it again. Like, we have to take responsibility for how we are allowing things to play out. And if something's not okay, we can't just sit there and accept it. You know, we have to come up with groups and plans and formulate some type of way of making sure that the information our children is receiving is going to benefit them. We don't want, you know, kids getting in fights or getting bullied to be normalized. We don't want teen pregnancy to become something that's normalized again, even though it's something that's been normalized before. Luckily, we've read that teen pregnancy has gone down, which is a wonderful thing. But we have to really take under consideration what we are allowing to be okay.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and just like I said, take control over the things that's coming in and out of your subconscious, and just be aware that not everything is just entertainment. Some things is actually set to condition you into
everything plays its part.
Exactly, and to steer you to feel a certain type of way. That's why when you think about logos and things like that, that's for a purpose, to draw you in to be a consumer and things like that. So all of that plays on your psyche, and you know how big and important that is. So in so many other ways, it's the same. It plays the same way on your mind. So peace and love, y'all. Thanks again for joining us on Dopeness.